What if we told you there was a civilization in the Amazon? Pyramid cities, engineered water systems, roads stretching to the horizon. And we missed it. Not because it was buried, not because it was remote, because we assumed there was nothing there. For 500 years we called it wilderness. We were wrong. It took a laser firing thousands of pulses a second from the sky to finally see the truth. This is the story of the Casarabe, the empire that hid in plain sight. The Bolivian Amazon, 700,000 square miles of heat, water, and shadow. For centuries, historians had a simple theory about this place. Hunter-gatherers, small bands, no permanent settlements. The jungle, they said, could not support a complex civilization. The soil too poor, the floods too unpredictable, the forest too hostile. It was a reasonable theory. It was also completely wrong. Between 500 and 1400 CE, something extraordinary was happening in that heat and shadow. A culture was engineering the landscape on a scale that defied everything we thought we knew. They built conical pyramids, raised platforms, reservoirs and canals that moved water across hundreds of miles. They didn't conquer the jungle, they rewired it. We called their world wilderness for 500 years. They called it home. So how did we miss an entire empire? There are no written records, no king lists, no stone tablets. The Casarabe left no name we can verify, no autobiography, no declaration of power. What they left was the land itself, the site of Kotoka, one of their largest urban centers. To build it, they moved approximately 570,000 cubic meters of earth by hand. For context, that is 10 times the volume of the largest pyramid at Tiwanaku, one of the most celebrated civilizations in Andean history. And there is almost no stone at Kotoka. Archaeologists recovered barely 2 kilos across the entire site, imported from the Andes. Everything else is earth, compacted, shaped, stacked by thousands of people across generations. They built pyramids without stone, roads without wheels, water systems without steel. And they built it all pointing north-northwest, toward their burial sites. Why? For decades, archaeologists suspected something was out there. The problem was the canopy. The jungle doesn't give up its geometry easily. Fieldwork in that heat, that humidity, years of it, and you might map a fraction of what was there. Then came the laser, LIDAR, light detection and ranging. A sensor mounted on an aircraft that fires millions of pulses of light per second. It strips the vegetation away digitally and shows you what's underneath. In 2022, a team led by archaeologist Heiko Prumers flew over the Llanos de Mojos. One flight. What would have taken years of fieldwork, they had in an afternoon. Beneath the canopy, urban centers, causeways, reservoirs, geometric precision stretching for miles. 2 major cities, 11 lesser settlements, all connected, all deliberately designed. 700 years later, a laser did the remembering for them. But the laser also raised a question nobody had expected. Where did they go? The dating is unambiguous. Occupation ends around 1400 CE. The Spanish don't arrive in force until the 1500s. No conquest explains this, no introduced disease on record, no invasion. The Casarabe simply stop. The causeways fall silent, the reservoirs silt over, the pyramids wait. The jungle, patient as it always was, moves back in. Within a century, the canopy has reclaimed everything. Within 2 centuries, the world has forgotten they ever existed. A civilization doesn't disappear, it waits. The question is, what took us so long to look? The 2022 paper landed in the journal Nature like a slow-moving verdict. The conclusion was clinical, precise. The Llanos de Mojos was not pristine wilderness. It was a managed, engineered, densely populated urban landscape. The implications were uncomfortable. Everything we used to justify the empty jungle narrative, the colonial land grants, the terra nullius arguments, the convenient absence of prior civilization. The laser had quietly dismantled all of it. We didn't discover a lost city, we confirmed we had been looking at it wrong the entire time. Here is what the Casarabe left us. Not gold, not conquest, not an empire that declared itself loudly and collapsed loudly. They left geometry, buried under 500 years of assumption. And the question they force us to ask is not what happened to them, it's what else we've been calling wilderness. The jungle knows. It always did.
If history keeps secrets this large, there are more waiting. Subscribe to Dynasty Vault. We find them.